And that is why these societies, the Hungarians, the Poles, the Czechs, the Western Balkan societies, are more socially conservative. We are more rooting for freedom. We don't like to have state or foreign interference in our policies and our private lives. And that's one of the reasons. And the other reason why these societies, especially the Hungarian one, is more resistant to liberal progressive policies, because we don't have parallel societies within our country. So we don't have experience recently mass migration, and our conservative government focused on protecting our borders from illegal migration. And also the Hungarians, we had last year a referendum on illegal migration, and we had another one 7 years ago, and more than 90% of the Hungarians rejected to have masses coming from different cultural backgrounds to our countries, because we want to preserve our Western Judeo-Christian heritage in our everyday lives. And the government, the Hungarian government, is quite supportive towards this will of the people, and we can experience that in other European countries in Central Europe, then the societies are more conservative, and it resonates well with their governments. But since the illegal migration and having millions of Muslims coming into Western Europe has changed slightly the Western European society's sentiment on that question as well. And more conservative parties gain in Western Europe's support as well. And that is why we have a huge hope that next year at the European parliamentary elections, not only Central European conservatives can contribute to having a more conservative and more common sense-based European Parliament, but we hope that some of the Western European parties will gain and Western European societies, because of the unbearable burden of having parallel societies, having pro-Palestinian rallies on a weekly basis on major European cities, are a sign of awakening of the majority population of Western European countries as well. And I think it's going to be a common ground for European and American conservatives in the very close future. One of the main topic and one of the most important policies in the future is for us to deal with illegal migration and to put focus on border protection. Because what we experience, especially in Western Europe, in those countries which have not suffered from communism, they have opened their borders in the past decades. But what we have experienced recently in the past 8 years from 2015, there was a huge mass influx of mainly Muslim immigrants to Western Europe. And now they have in major cities millions of Muslim immigrants, mostly illegal immigrants. And the majority of them, I'm not saying that all of them, because there are a lot of Muslim immigrants who are proud citizens of their new countries in Western Europe. But there is a huge number of these communities who don't want to basically integrate to the majority societies. And they can be easily radicalized. They do not want basically to adapt to Western civilization and accept our values. And they can actually be easily radicalized. So what we have experienced after this huge mass influx of migrants from the Middle East and Northern Africa, that the frequency of terrorist attacks have become very frequent in European major cities. And these cities are suffering from actual terrorism and the potential of terrorism. And we don't want to have cold or even warm civil wars in our countries. And Hungary is safe. Hungary is one of the most safest countries for Jews and other people who love freedom and who are for Western civilization and Judeo-Christian heritage, because we just did not let masses from Northern Africa and the Middle East into our countries. And I think that's going to be the policy of the current conservative Hungarian government. And we really hope from Europe that you're going to have a conservative president and a conservative majority in the House and the Senate to protect your borders as well, because otherwise you have to live with fear and with anti-Semitism, as we have experienced recently in a lot of Western European societies, especially in major cities and in college campuses.